Chapter 1: The Arrival, A New World. The heavy clank of the metal door echoes through the stark hallway as Alex steps into a world he never thought he'd enter. His heart races, a relentless drumbeat of fear and disbelief. Walls painted in muted gray loom large, casting shadows that seem to swallow him whole. Fellow inmates, each with their own stories etched in the lines of their faces, glance his way, a mix of curiosity and indifference. He feels lost, a ship adrift in turbulent waters. The unspoken rules of this unfamiliar territory weigh heavy on his shoulders. As the sound of distant shouts and laughter reverberates, he grapples with a cocktail of emotions: confusion, isolation, and an overwhelming urge to fit in. Alex's story begins here, in this stark new existence where the walls whisper secrets, and every inmate's gaze carries the weight of their choices, a new world that challenges his very identity. Chapter 2: Bonds in the Darkness, Finding Family. Narrated by Maria, a long-term inmate, this chapter dives deep into the emotional landscape of prison relationships. Maria reflects on the sisterhood she has found within these cold walls, where shared experiences mold unlikely friendships. In a place stripped of the outside world's comforts, bonds of loyalty and trust flourish. She recounts late-night conversations, laughter echoing through the corridors, and whispered secrets that create a sense of belonging amid despair. However, the shadows of betrayal are never far behind. Maria recalls the heart-wrenching moments when loyalty is tested, reminding her that trust, once broken, can cut deeper than any prison bar. Through Maria's eyes, we witness resilience born from camaraderie, illuminating the warmth that often defies the harsh realities of incarceration. The chapter concludes with her hopeful spirit, expressing that even in darkness, the light of true friendship can illuminate the path to survival. Chapter 3: The Echoes of Regret, Haunted by the Past. Malik's voice trembles as he shares the weight of his memories, reminiscent of a once vibrant community leader who fell from grace. In the stark confines of his cell, he reflects on the choices that led him down a perilous path, decisions forged in desperation and influenced by the shadows of his upbringing. He recalls the warmth of family gatherings, the joy of community events, now overshadowed by the faces of those he has hurt. Guilt washes over him, a relentless tide that keeps him awake at night. Malik pens letters to those he wronged, hoping for forgiveness, while grappling with the suffocating burden of regret. As he delves into the societal factors that shaped his decisions, he seeks understanding, redemption, and a way to rebuild not just his life, but the lives of others impacted by his actions. Each spoken word is laced with a longing for peace and the chance to make amends. Chapter 4: Flickering Hope, Dreams Behind Bars. Narrated by Eliza, this chapter unfolds the vibrant world of an artist imprisoned yet unbroken. Within the confines of her stark cell, she finds solace in her paintbrush, transforming gray walls into a canvas bursting with color and emotion. Each stroke signifies a moment of freedom, a rebellion against the suffocating atmosphere of incarceration. Eliza shares her visions of a life filled with beauty and possibility, her dreams swirling into existence like the vivid hues on her palette. As she reflects on her art, she conveys the strength it provides, an escape from the harsh realities of prison life and a means to express her innermost thoughts and longings. Art becomes a flickering flame of hope in the darkness, illuminating her path toward redemption. Through her journey of self-expression, Eliza inspires others, reminding them that even within the bleakest of circumstances, dreams can still glimmer brightly. Chapter 5: The Light Beyond, Life After Release. Narrated by a chorus of voices from various inmates, this chapter addresses the hopes and fears surrounding life post-incarceration. Each voice carries a different story, yet they share a common thread of aspiration and vulnerability. We hear from James, who worries about finding a job while grappling with societal stigma, Sarah, who dreams of reuniting with her children, and Malik, who longs to rebuild his reputation in the community. Their reflections illuminate the challenges of reintegration, navigating employment, relationships, and the ever-present shadow of their pasts. Despite these fears, a powerful sense of determination emerges. The inmates discuss their plans for the future, each carving their own path toward redemption. Through their intertwined narratives, listeners witness a symphony of resilience, reminding us that while the road to reintegration is fraught with obstacles, the desire for a new beginning burns brightly within every soul emerging from behind the bars. Chapter 6, The Weight of Guilt, Shadows of the Past. Narrated by Brian, this chapter delves into the haunting depths of a regret-laden conscience. Brian recounts the fateful night when a split-second decision led to a tragic loss of life. Each word drips with remorse, painting a vivid picture of the pain inflicted not only on the victim's family, but also on his own soul. The walls of the prison feel like a constant reminder of his guilt, as memories replay in his mind, echoing like a relentless drumbeat. As he shares his story, Brian reflects on the societal pressures that cloud judgment and the intricate dance between choice and consequence. In this raw and emotional journey, he explores what it means to live with guilt, grappling with the desire for redemption. Through his narrative, listeners are invited to confront their own shadows, fostering empathy for a life forever altered by a single, irreversible act. Chapter 7, Survival Instincts, Everyday Battles. Narrated by Jamila, this chapter delves into the relentless struggles faced daily within the prison walls. Jamila, a fierce yet vulnerable soul, paints a vivid picture of life inside, the oppressive atmosphere, the routines that govern existence, and the dynamics of survival. Each day feels like a battle, navigating the complexities of relationships, guarding against betrayal, and coping with the weight of confinement. She describes the toll on mental health, as anxiety and despair often loom like shadows in the corridors. Yet amidst the harsh realities, Jamila reveals her resilient spirit. Through shared stories and communal bonds, she finds strength in the unlikeliest of friendships. Their laughter becomes a balm, a reminder of their shared humanity. In this gritty landscape, hope flickers like a candle, illuminating their paths as they search for meaning and purpose, proving that even in darkness, the will to endure and thrive persists. Chapter 8, Lessons from the Inside, Education and Growth. In this chapter, we hear from Arthur, a former teacher convicted of drug-related offenses. With a steady, reflective tone, he recounts his unexpected path to redemption through education. Despite the cold, gray walls of his cell, Arthur found purpose in teaching fellow inmates. He describes the first class he led, the nervousness in their eyes replaced by curiosity and engagement as they delved into poetry, history, and math. His students, once resigned to their fates, began to think critically about their lives and futures, sparking hope amid despair. Arthur shares stories of inmates who have turned their lives around through education. One, a promising writer; another, an aspiring mechanic. He emphasizes how learning became a lifeline, breaking the cycle of recidivism. As the ambient sounds of a classroom echo in the background, Arthur's voice carries a powerful message. Knowledge ignites the mind, offering a path to freedom beyond prison walls. Chapter 9, A Mother's Heart, Longing for Home. Sarah's voice trembles as she reflects on her journey as a mother behind bars. Time has a cruel way of reshaping moments. Each day apart from her children feels like an eternity. The prison walls, cold and unyielding, seem to echo the laughter and warmth of home, a world she longs to return to. Through her eyes we glimpse the heartache of missed birthdays, school plays, and bedtime stories. Yet, there is a flicker of hope within her. Sarah shares her dreams of rebuilding her family when she is released, vowing to be the mother they deserve. She finds solace in weekly phone calls, where she imagines her children's smiles and laughter filling the void of her confinement. In a place where despair often reigns, her love becomes a beacon of resilience, a reminder that no matter the distance, a mother's heart remains fiercely connected to her children. Chapter 10, The Sound of Change, Voices for Justice. Narrated by Carlos, this chapter captures the transformative power of advocacy within prison walls. Once a silent observer, he has become a beacon of hope for change, rallying his fellow inmates to confront the systemic injustices they face. Carlos shares the stirring moment he recognized that their collective voices could challenge outdated practices and fight for their rights. Through passionate discussions, he organizes meetings where inmates share their stories and strategize for reform, cultivating a sense of unity amidst despair. The chapter explores Carlos's journey from incarceration to empowerment, shedding light on the harsh realities of the prison system, including overcrowding and lack of resources. As inmates begin to voice their struggles, a powerful symphony of hope emerges, resonating with the desire for a fairer society. Together, they dare to dream of a world where their pasts do not define their futures, igniting a movement that reverberates beyond the prison walls. Chapter 11. Battles with Addiction, Chains of Dependency. Fiona's voice trembles as she recounts her tumultuous journey through addiction, drawing the listener into her struggles. "I thought I could control it," she admits, describing the exhilarating highs that spiraled into devastating lows. Behind bars, she confronts her demons, realizing that her choices not only led to her incarceration, but also fractured her relationships and sense of self. The rhythmic clanging of prison doors echoes the chains she feels binding her. Amidst the harsh reality, Fiona discovers a glimmer of hope in support groups and therapy sessions. "Every day is a battle, but I'm learning to fight," she shares, expressing the importance of vulnerability and honesty in her recovery. Through candid reflections, she highlights the powerful connections forged with fellow inmates, all grappling with their own struggles. As Fiona envisions a future free from the grasp of addiction, her story becomes a testament to resilience and the possibility of redemption. Chapter 12. Faith Behind Bars, Finding Spirituality. In the austere confines of prison, David, a self-designated spiritual leader, shares his journey of finding solace through faith. As he stands in the dimly lit chapel, he reflects on the power of belief as an anchor during turbulent times. His voice, filled with conviction, recounts the transformations he has witnessed in fellow inmates who have embraced spirituality, offering them hope in a seemingly hopeless environment. David believes that faith can mend fractured spirits, helping individuals confront their pasts and envision a future beyond their prison walls. Throughout this chapter, David shares poignant stories of redemption and forgiveness, revealing how prayer and community have provided a sanctuary amid despair. Inmates gather around him, drawn to his warmth and wisdom, eager to explore the deeper meanings of their lives. As the chapter closes, the haunting soundtrack swells, embodying the profound connection between faith, resilience, and the human spirit's enduring quest for purpose. Chapter 13. Moments of Kindness, the Human Connection. In the relentless grind of prison life, small acts of kindness become lifelines for the soul. This chapter unfolds through the voices of various inmates, sharing poignant anecdotes that have uplifted their spirits. Alfred recalls a moment when a fellow inmate offered him a spare blanket on an especially cold night, reminding him that even in darkness, warmth can be found. Jasmine speaks of a simple gesture, a shared meal during lockdown, that sparked a bond between herself and another inmate, forging a friendship that helped alleviate the isolation they both felt. As they recount these moments, the atmosphere shifts, laughter and tears intertwine. In a place often characterized by division, these stories illuminate the beauty of shared humanity. In a world behind bars, where every day presents new challenges, it's the unexpected generosity that fosters hope and resilience amidst despair. Together, they find strength in connection, redefining what it means to be a family within the confines of their reality.